Only one kid in history had ever attempted what Benny was about to. And he got eaten. So we were worried. Real worried. Even when Benny brought out the secret weapon. Shoes guaranteed to make a kid run faster and jump higher. PF Flyers.
We can't let him do this, man.
Okay, it's hump day, so you know it's time for another episode of the Slate Lace podcast. This week, it's going to be a film episode. We are going to review the film I'm Your Woman, new to Amazon Prime. Blair, before we get started, how you feeling?
I'm good. Yeah.
No complaints?
No
rants?
Nah, no complaints, no rants.
All right, yeah, we good. We hope you guys are doing good. We hope you're staying safe, all that good stuff. But on that note, let's get into the review. So like I said, the film is I'm Your Woman. It is a 1970s set crime drama starring a woman who goes on the run after her husband betrays his partner, and she has to go on the run with her child. So we kind of follow her journey. It's starring Rachel Brosnahan of House of Cards, Marvelous Miss Maisel, starring Marsha Stephanie Black, who was also in When They See Us, and then the other character is Ariz Kane, which I haven't seen him in much. So. Okay. But after this, I'll definitely look out for his work. But yeah, didn't really know who he was up until this film. So yeah, I had a solid cast going there. Initial thoughts?
I haven't seen any of those movies or TV shows.
From those, you haven't seen anything? So you didn't know the actors?
No. They all look brand new to me.
Come on now.
But initially, I hadn't seen the trailer or knew anything about it, so it was kind of cool. Like I said, I've obviously been doing a lot of that lately, so you're just sitting down and you just watching, So it's kind of cool to never have any initial thoughts other than just the title of the film, and you're just like, okay, let's see what it's about.
You're about to have an initial thought after this one, because we are going to have a trailer reaction for you guys at the end. So you're going to have some...
I'm going to have one now?
Some initial thoughts.
All right, that's fair.
But yeah, for me, I follow Rachel Brosnahan. Obviously, I'm a huge House of Cards fan on Instagram. So I hadn't known about this movie, and I was like, all right, this is definitely something I'm going to check out. And then Mom pushed it really hard. She liked it. So I was like, all right, let me check it out. But it was one of those movies where it's like, I'm definitely going to get to it. But let me wait. I had seen the trailer and everything. I was like, okay, it's dope, but I'm going to get around to it. Yeah. But yeah, so the extra push from Mom and, knowing that there's some fans out there, I was like, all right, let's check it out now. So yeah, let's get into where this movie hit, like where it succeeded. Start with the good first.
Let's start with the good. For me, I think the film was actually very interesting. I kind of like that there was minimal dialogue. I'm a big person. Like, if you don't have to talk, then what's the point in talking, right? Like, if we can just, like, in Pulp Fiction, they said if you could just enjoy, like, silence. Well, obviously it was an uncomfortable silence, but if you could just enjoy silence, it's like, why can't we just do that? So obviously this film was silent for many of reasons, in the sense of, like, she was by herself and was with a baby. So obviously, dialogue is a minimum there. But I thought that was, fairly interesting, because basically now you have to have strong characters, because if there's not going to be right, if there's not going to be any dialogue, right, like, you've got to be, you've got to capture us, and leads me into their next one, and I think that was very successful, and they, like, captured us, I think, from the beginning. They didn't waste too much time before when she went on the run. I mean, I think she was already on the run probably about 10 or 15 minutes into the film. Yeah. So, I mean, great job trying to get the ball rolling and get the fast break, I did like the music. Music was very good here, but obviously, it's in that time period. It was like the 70s. So, of course, if you love late 60s and 70s music, this is your flick. I did like the title of the film as well. I missed it at first, and then I caught it like the second or third time. So that's kind of cool. I did also just kind of like the meaning and the deeper thought to it, and things like that. That was also enjoyable for me as well. And yeah, I mean, I just kind of enjoyed the film all around. So I think there was a lot of positives for me.
Yeah. All right. All good things. For me, the positives was that it was like kind of a new take. It was like women-centered. The women are being the heroes, especially with the main character, Rachel Brosnahan. You see her journey from not knowing anything, like how to take care of herself, basically, to now having to take care of this baby by herself, which it looks like she had kind of come to terms with not having one, and then also, becoming an independent woman. So I like that they also have to take matters into their own hands. They got to defend themselves. They got to, end up saving, sorry, minor spoiler there, but, saving the other, male character in the movie. So, yeah, just kind of putting women at the forefront was cool to see. They are doing that a lot lately, and I'll get into that in my cons a little bit. But, yeah, I like the idea of, like, women at the front of it. It's also a good storyline. It was very entertaining from the jump. Also, I do have some cons, so I'm trying not to say too much. But it was very entertaining from the jump. And yeah, I think it was a solid storyline, so I definitely appreciate that.
Okay.
And I also want to touch on the acting. I think it was very well cast. I'm always looking at the cast, like if it's going to be a newcomer, which I don't think that guy is a newcomer, but maybe he is. And
they all new to me, so.
If it's, I just want to see, even if it's a newcomer, like, can they act? Are they going to prove themselves? Right. What are they going to do after? So I appreciated the acting. It was really good. But yeah, that was my positives as well. Let's get into the cons, because I also got some thoughts on this.
Okay. So for the cons, since you're talking about the whole female empowerment, the only thing I would slight on that is to still put in perspective that it's still centered around a man. Their dialogue is usually always centered around the man and things like that. But obviously, it's either you're a man or a woman, I guess, right? So it's like for them, she was obviously married, and then also put in perspective too, it's like the time frame in which she was living in, and she didn't have too much of a life. You know what I mean? Her whole life was revolving around her husband. So of course, then you would expect dialogue to be, dedicated as such. So of course, she's always talking about a man, and and like her husband, and and even the other characters as well. So, I mean, but I just gave it a slight on that because, you were talking about female empowerment. And, we've done a lot of that on this show, and I think it still falls in the category. But, you put a slight asterisk next to it. I honestly don't have that many cons for this film. I did enjoy it. Obviously, I noticed like a couple things where, even on the internet, people were saying it was like, well, obviously, if this was 2020, this probably wouldn't have went down that way. They probably would have been caught already and things like that because, we don't have surveillance and we don't have things like that. So, of course, if you're going to go and make this type of film, you got to go and set it back, 30, 40 years, because, obviously if she wasn't, she wasn't like the brightest character, right? So she's not making the smartest decisions. And then therefore in 2020, she's probably already captured.
True.
But yeah, honestly, I don't really have any cons. I did enjoy the film.
Yeah, I was kind of like you. I didn't come in, as I was thinking about this episode, I was like, all right, I don't have too many cons. I don't know where the movie really missed. But as I dug deeper, there were some things you touched on. Dialogue. I love dialogue. Like, I need it. I don't really like sitting there in silence. Although I didn't really notice that, to be honest. Like, I'm like, so they shot it in a very, great way where I didn't notice that there was a lack of dialogue. So it's fine. Like, this is not really a con, but I just want to touch on it because you did. I'm Aaron Sorkin. Like, give me that rapid pace dialogue that we see in The West Wing, Social Network, all those kind of things that he's done. I need it. Like, I need that talking. So that, like, movies moving forward, like, yeah, I'll knock that down. But I just want to touch on that because you did.
Okay.
But I didn't really notice that. So that's not one of my cons. But what it was is, hold on, let me get to my notes. What was I going to say?
Well, I mean,
notes. Oh, okay. No. I wanted to talk on how it was like kind of a slow burn in the beginning. So not in the, but like in the middle. We just focusing on her sitting around. We're focusing on her, not really doing much. I was like,
she doesn't have much purpose at that point in time.
Yeah, that part could have like been sliced in half. At that, that's when we're like dragging on the movie. So kind of a slow burn in the middle, which is weird because it usually started off cracking, and then in the middle we just started getting lulled to sleep a little bit.
Well,
and that more, toward the end, it was again cracking.
Well, yeah, you got to think about like the film in its entirety and like what is her purpose and what is her actual like overall goal. And and a lot of times at that point she's kind of like simply existing. But the only reason I don't give it a con is because again she's not we never built her to be this character where like she understands who she is, and this is like, I need to do this and I need to become of that, right? Like, it's just like things are sort of happening, and then she just like reaches this boiling point where like, okay, enough is enough. I'm tired of being told what to do. I'm tired of like sitting around and living.
Up, yeah.
Right. But before that, like everything was just kind of okay, and it was kind of like she was a baby and she was taking care of a baby, and they were just kind of like, what do we do, right? Like she didn't even know how to cook or anything like to actually like survive on her own. And so that's why you have like a lot of that kind of stuff happening in the middle. And so that's why I never necessarily gave it a con, put it in my con list, Right.
But, yeah, it's definitely nitpicky. I'll say that. Because again, I enjoyed the film. But yeah, just that middle, like let's fine tune it a little bit. But yeah, it's definitely reaching.
But I think you're right because so that's what then puts you in like legendary categories and things like that when you can grab someone from beginning, middle, and end and like kind of lay all of that out and still make that work, right? Like if you're a writer and you're writing, you can kind of tweak that and like give her the purpose a little sooner and things like that. You can make it work. Yeah. And not have that slow burn in the middle like you're saying. So I think that things could have been done. Yeah. But for me, it was just enjoyable enough where like I'm not gonna sit there and and jab at that.
Exactly. It was enjoyable enough that we forgot. That we didn't really focus on that. Again, I scrutinized it, but I had to really like go over it with a fine tooth comb. So.
I also know people were saying like the baby crying, but my thing is that was super realistic because what do you expect? Yeah. That is all they do because that's their form of communication, right? So it's like, I mean, that what'd you expect?
Yeah, was that annoying for some people?
Yeah, it was annoying for some people. I've seen that everywhere. Even Mom was telling me like her friends felt that way as well. So
yeah, I mean, I didn't really notice that either. But I'm also like, well, that's being a parent, So that's one thing that I kind of understood. But let's go ahead and get into these ratings.
Okay.
It got pretty strong ratings.
Yeah, I don't blame it.
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes, 81%.
Okay.
Great job.
Yeah, bravo.
IMDb, 6.2. Felt like that was a little bit of a slight.
That feels like feels like the audience. The audience,
the
peoples. Sometimes they don't really know what they want and what they're expecting. And for me, this is on the artsy side of things, you know. And a lot of times they don't.
Also, like the costumes was like fire.
I mean, it was
you got a little nod to it.
Yeah. Hey. They did their thing. The cinematography was dope. The sound was dope. Right. Like if you really look at it, it felt 1970s. The shot choices, the movement,
fire.
Like everything was on point. Just like
I would have stole some of them costumes for sure.
Without a doubt.
That costume design. Without a doubt. Shout out to whoever he or she is because they did their thing. I was like, okay, with the drip.
Yeah. It was good. It was it was beautifully shot.
But like you were saying, like the people they don't know what they want. These are some average Joes on here clicking buttons. They don't study film. They don't watch a lot of film. They don't appreciate films. They just going off like snooze fest, baby was crying.
And a lot of times they watch films like Taken, right? Where like they know what to do when it comes down to it. Yeah. They've never really seen it where a woman had no skills and was thrown into the fire. Yeah, that's most of America. Right. That is most of America. If y'all got thrown into the fire, what would you do?
Be dead.
Not much better than what she's doing, right? Would have been caught. Wouldn't have took the wouldn't have took the money. Like they would have made those type of decisions, right? Like So that's kind of like, but the
Yeah.
people don't think like that, right? They want the character to like really be really good at something, and so when they get put into that situation, they're like Jackie Chan and things like that. And so this was kind of like more on the realistic aspect.
Yeah, so they gave it that kind of jacked up rating of 6.2 from the people. But, you know, the critics gave it that 81%, which is good. So let's get into the slate rate, which is most important. Blair, 1 to 5 on entertainment.
I would say it's a 4 as far as entertainment goes.
Yep, I gave it a 4 on the entertainment side as well. All I ask is to go into a movie, be entertained. That's
right.
it.
Absolutely.
And that's what this movie did. Great acting, like I've mentioned. Great storyline, like I've mentioned. Yeah, it was captivating. It had all those elements, that suspense element. Because you didn't know what was happening next when they was, you know, just running in the clubs, running away from people. You don't really know.
That was
Of course,
dope. I love that. That was dope.
Yeah, of course we're not going to spoil anything, but yeah, you don't really know what's happening from one scene to the next. So yeah, it had those elements that you need to make it an entertaining film. So I'm gonna go 4 as well. Blair, 1 to 5, originality.
I'll give it 3.5 as far as originality goes.
Ooh.
I think no, you got to think
No,
about
I'm
it.
saying ooh because I'm like I think we got the same rate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm at 8.5 out of 10. For sure. I mean,
Wild.
for me, no,
Slate lays first.
for me, if you think about it, how many films are out there where you take like a regular woman, I'm not even gonna just say housewife, just like a regular woman, and she has to go on the run and she has to figure everything out by herself, and then has to take care of a baby that's not even hers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like be forced to survive, and then at one point be fed up and have to like figure everything out.
I'm going to challenge your point a little bit because this is where I gave it a 3.5 on originality as well. But where it's losing some points is the fact that Widows, The Kitchen are like two kind of films that came out within the last 2 years where it's women that had to step up after being their crime.
I think they're better than those though.
Their crime boss husbands both left them with like, oh, what do we do now? You know, kind of holding their hands up. So,
but the film is better to me.
Yeah, but it's still that same storyline. So that's that originality. We got to knock it down.
Got you.
I don't think it's better than Widows.
Also with minimal dialogue.
No. But dialogue.
I mean, but that's all.
But
No. I know, but that's also like the things that I'm putting in the factoring of originality.
Oh, but yeah. That's true. But I don't think it's better than Widows. But it's not a comparing.
Well, yeah, we're not comparing it.
But
for me,
yeah.
it's
So
just,
it's just the fact that we've had those within the last 2 years.
Gotcha.
And then we came with this. So it's like, okay.
Gotcha.
Pattern.
Gotcha.
So that's where I'm knocking it down on that originality.
Okay.
And then also just the fact that the general storyline of like the crime boss.
Yeah, that's not
mafia,
without a doubt.
Yeah, gangs,
Without a
turning
doubt.
on partners.
Absolutely.
Killing everything in your way to get to the partner.
Absolutely.
Like, just violence, you know? All that's in there, and all that's the same. But, again, you know, one of the things I liked was that they put women at the forefront. So I can't complain too much. Again, you know, knocking it on that originality.
Which is
again,
why it's not a 4 or 5.
Is why it's not a 4 or 5, but it's nitpicking. Because I did love the film.
Okay.
But, yeah, I mean, the fact that we just got 2 films just like that in these past 2 to 3 years, it's hard for me to go 5.
I feel you. No doubt.
Yep, but it is a solid, 8?
8.5 for me.
8.5 out of 10, like from both of us.
Yeah.
So we're kind of on the same page, which does not happen often. But yeah, I would definitely say check this one out for the viewers.
Oh, for sure,
It's worth it. You know, is this the one in a long time where you said check it out?
Yeah.
Everything else has kind of been like past.
I think so.
Aside from the classics that we talked about during Christmas
Besides
time.
the classics, besides the things that won like Best Picture and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we was like, leave it. And this one we're like,
or I
definitely
say
check it
like
out.
if you want, you know, I say if you want, but this
I'm
is like
saying
definitely like, you know,
must.
yeah, you would absolutely have to check this out without a doubt.
Guys, we've come to the end of the review, but like I told Blair at the beginning, we got this trailer reaction that I want us to kind of watch and react together.
Okay.
It is a new Netflix film. I'm laughing because I've kind of seen what it's about, and I'm like, oh Lord, it's gonna be one of them journeys. It's called Pieces of a Woman, and I know it's starring Shia LaBeouf and another woman-centered film. Don't know her name, but we will find out right now. So let's go ahead and see this trailer.
Was taking the baby's heart rate to see if the baby was okay and that she could handle the labor. Yes. The first time that she checked the baby's heart rate, it was strong, yes?
So
Yes,
they're in
it
some
was.
kind of court setting.
How many times did she check the heart rate?
I'm guessing not enough.
Yeah.
About 3, I would say. 3 times? Yes. That's all, just only 3 times? Yes.
See,
And
this
then
is
she told you to take a bath?
what?
Yes. Did she take the baby's heart rate again while you were in the bath? No.
This is one of those trailers where it's
we
just
get
a
this
scene
straight.
from the
There's a
movie.
sustained
I like
period
stuff
of
like
time
that.
I
while
don't,
you're in the
because this
bath.
doesn't
Nah.
give us the
But the baby's
context.
heart
But we'll
rate
talk
was
about
not
that.
Because you got to see if you want to see this just off of this.
Yeah. That's true too.
You want to know why
Did
she's
she
in
ever
trouble.
communicate to you explicitly that a lowered heart rate could mean that the baby was in distress and that this could cause her death?
Oh, I know. That's from Succession, that woman.
She didn't say that to me, no. If you knew about the risk, would you have demanded to go to the hospital?
I mean, look at the
Of course I
shot
would.
choices.
Want to
We don't
know
see
that.
anybody's
Would you
faces
ever
other than
willingly
hers,
harm
really.
your
Yeah.
baby? Of course not, no. No.
It's
So
kind of
in one of
focused
the
on
most
her asking
difficult
us
moments of
questions.
your life,
Mm-hmm.
during a difficult labor, the woman who
That's
you
kinda
decided to
interesting.
put your trust
And it
in,
was 2 people.
who's been present at hundreds of births, has
It's
far
like
more experience
He's
than
making
you
you
do,
think about breathing.
turns to you and says, you must go to the hospital right now. Would you have gone in? Yes or no?
See?
And then she's supposed to be cut like that, or is that just my phone? I think
No.
she's kind of cut out, huh?
No, it's supposed to be like that. Because
Yeah.
remember the baby and not
Yes, I
breathing,
would
and
have.
she didn't take the check the
No further
pulse.
questions, Your Honor.
Interesting way. So it looks like it is starring Vanessa Kirby, Shia LaBeouf, and the veteran Ellen Bernstein.
Okay.
Or Bernstein. I don't know quite how to pronounce that, but she's been in a ton of stuff. So reactions to that trailer.
That was my reaction. I think it looks interesting.
It looks interesting.
That's interesting
That's
enough.
not the kind of I saw a different clip where it's more of the montage of like giving that actual trailer kind of feel, not necessarily like a scene from the movie.
I like stuff like that though, but that's just me.
Yeah, I don't, because I'm like, okay, I want to see the montage because I want to kind of piece it together myself. I don't know. And then, I mean, on one hand, I don't want it to give away too much.
Right,
I don't really know what I like.
Then you get upset
I don't
about
know.
that, and then you end up guessing the film. So
That's true. And then you can be like, oh, they showed too much. So I don't know. It's up in the air. We'll see. It doesn't look interesting to me, but I'm gonna watch it for you guys. Blair, does
let's
it look
do
interesting?
it. Oh, absolutely.
All right, this guy. On that note, I don't know. It's gonna be a slow burn.
I'm gonna watch it.
It's gonna be a slow.
I'm gonna watch it. That's
and
just
we
me.
are. We're gonna probably react to this movie in a couple weeks. So stick
Okay,
around
let's
for
do it.
that.
You heard it first.
Check us out on the Slate Lace page. Oh, before I say that, now you can't say that you don't have no initial thoughts because you haven't.
I have initial thoughts for the first one in a very long time.
Yep. Yes. Follow us on Instagram at Slate Laced. Yeah, it is the Slate Laced gang. We are signing out. See you guys.